Hey, what's up, y'all? It's me, Nate Almighty, and I'm back with another Power Book 3 Raising Kanan Season 3 theory and prediction video. And today, let's talk about how Ronnie will visit his mother and end up taking her life. And also, we're going to talk about why and how this will happen. Now, we don't know much about Ronnie's backstory, but his mother is definitely alive, and there's no way he mentioned her for no reason in the very recent episode. It's clear that the writers will be showing us why Ronnie is the way that he is. I'll also be explaining why Juliana will be the main reason why Ronnie kills his mother, and it won't be the reason you think. So I encourage everyone to watch this video until the end. Now, this video is going to be yet another banger. So go ahead and like this video and subscribe to this channel so y'all can get this fire every day. Now, without further ado, let's get to it. All right, people, let's do it like this. Over the course of this season, we've seen Ronnie be a different kind of monster that we've never seen before on Power. The cold, calculating, petty, and ruthless nature of Ronnie has kept us all entertained over the past 7 episodes. And one thing everyone could easily notice is the disdain that he has for women. Now, Ronnie has been home from serving 3 years in prison. And in his weeks of being home, he hasn't shown an interest in women at all. In fact, besides Juliana, Ronnie has went out of his way to unnecessarily disrespect any women that have come his way. Or at the very least, he made it clear he wasn't interested. And this has been the basis for many suggestions, including from myself, that Ronnie may in fact be into men. Especially after him seemingly be totally uninterested, and we all seen this scene, in Juliana's advances in episode 7. And come on, look at Juliana. Come on now, right? Now, I've served the same amount of time as Ronnie in prison myself. And anyone who did time or knows guys that did time would know how important it is for a newly free man to share his bed with a woman again. So anybody who's been trying to justify Ronnie not being gay by just merely suggesting it's because he's focused on business or something like that, I have to tell you that you definitely don't understand men, even if you are a man, okay? Prison makes you desire a woman's touch like you've never had before in your life. The fact that he's been seen eating nothing but Cheerios as a callback to a certain left-handed gangster from The Wire doesn't help cease these assumptions. So at first, I was convinced that Ronnie was just into men. And that's okay from a narrative perspective. You know, it adds a different depth to his character, right? It opens up different possibilities. But now, here's the basis for my theory and why I think Ronnie will kill his mother, okay? And I'm going to tie Juliana into all of this. It's going to blow your mind. When I seen Ronnie talk to Famous in episode 7 and express how his mother doesn't love him, and then later on in that same episode, I seen Famous be loved and embraced by his own mother. And like I said in a previous video, I was comparing the parallels between Famous and Ronnie's life. I think that the writers deliberately are showing us this for narrative purposes. And in that same episode, Ronnie lets Pernessa live because I believe he knows she's a good mom. And even though he killed Unique, he loved Unique, and he has love for Ronnie because of Unique. He don't give a damn about Pernessa, but he knows Pernessa's a good mom, okay? I was reminded after that about real life and what they describe in the science books as nature versus nurture and other phrases like that when we're talking about psychology, right? And what could have a child grow up to be famous, or they can end up being a Ronnie. Or in real life, it could be any good kid you know, and would have them become that and become Ted Bundy, right? People like that, right? I was reminded about real life and what they describe as nature versus nurture. Like I said, being a product of your environment is a real thing. Famous grows spoiled and sheltered, and that's why he isn't ruthless. So this has to mean Ronnie and Unique turned out the way they did because of their mother, who raised them to be that way. That scene also indicates to us that Ronnie will visit his mother at some point this season. I think it will be as early as episode 8, and he may kill her within the same episode or that one scene, right? Right? That's what I'm thinking. If not, it'll be before the season is over, right? That scene also indicates to us that Ronnie will have a discussion with his mother. And this is why he will kill her. It takes a certain kind of woman to raise a child that will become somebody like Ronnie. And I believe we will find out that Ronnie has always been different. And him and Unique's mom was a severely abusive woman. I'm talking about when we see this woman, she's going to be despicable. Y'all are already thinking that the Thomas's mother was despicable. I think Ronnie's mother is going to be worse. Right? Right? And I believe we will find out that Ronnie has always been different, like I said. And his mother was always abusive to him, both physically and verbally. She may have been on drugs as well. You know, keep in mind this is the early 90s. And since it's the early 90s, crack could be in the play, alcohol could be in the play, heroin could be in the play, right? Angel dust, things like that. Forcing Ronnie into the game at a young age and having to keep his brother safe. And that will harken back to episode 6 when Pernessa told Rock Ronnie couldn't have killed him. He used to try to beat up anybody who even looked at Unique different, right? That harkens back to that. But being that Ronnie was always different, we can assume his mother did not deal with his differences in a very productive way. And she likely beat him all the time for it. And even Ronnie, and maybe Ronnie does like women and might have just been autistic with OCD. In the 70s, 80s, and 90s, nobody was concerned with mental health enough to change the way they dealt with it with children. It's possible Ronnie harbors a resentment for women because he never felt the real love of a mother. Just like if you study the real backstories of real serial killers, right? Like the clear parallels they're trying to make us believe about Ronnie, right? The symbolism. A lot of these serial killers, they only killed women, right? They only did these things to women. Thus leading to his issues with Juliana on the couch. Now we can bring it back, right? Where it seemed like Ronnie may have been interested, but then it seems like he wasn't interested. It seems like something is possibly holding him back. But in regards to Juliana, with that, I still see Juliana as the reason Ronnie kills his mother. When Ronnie inevitably goes to visit his mother, we can assume she will still be a shitty person. Ronnie will make probably a final attempt to reconcile with his mom, being that he'd been locked up and he hadn't seen her in a long time, okay? She will be cold and verbally aggressive. She will instantly blame him for Unique's death, not saying she assumes he killed her, but she will assume that, she'll be like the badgering mother who'll be like, your brother's dead? Your brother's dead? It's your fault, Ronnie, because you were never good enough. That type of thing, right? And she would tell him it's his fault because he's a shitty brother. She may even tell him she wished he was never born, right? He will kill her in a rage, as we've already seen Ronnie do. He lets his emotions get to the best of him. Like, pretty much all of his kills have been emotional. And this is why I'm telling y'all, he could end up dead or in prison by making a mistake, because he's too emotional, right? Right? But like I said, he'll kill her in a rage. And when this is done, we can then see Ronnie go home and make love to Juliana as if he had a huge weight lifted off his chest. And although it may sound weird, let me go further. Because more importantly than a sexual partner, I think Ronnie partly sees Juliana mentally and spiritually as something a little bit more for whatever reason. A motherly figure who provides a kind of womanly comfort that he's not used to, but longed for his entire life. And they may relate to each other in a way that Juliana knows what it's like to love someone and want to be loved by someone who continuously abuses you and you can't do anything about it. We may see Ronnie and Juliana fall in love with each other, but here's the thing. So when Rock kills her in episode 8, seemingly, Ronnie is going to lose his fucking mind, forcing Kanan to likely have to kill him in order to keep him from hunting down his mother. Because I don't believe Kanan would allow anyone to kill his mother. Peace.